Ciao, Bella. So we're back and our spinach dish is done and ready to be tested and tasted, and we'll see. I'd like to show it to you. Look at that. So there's lots of different things that we can do with it. We can eat it as a snack. We're gonna try it now. I can also put it in some soup. I have some vegetable stock here that I'm going to put and, put this in as we make it into the little squares. And I'm excited to try it. I really haven't made this myself since, God, I don't even know how long it's been. But let's see. Look at that. When it's in chicken broth or vegetable broth with those little meatballs, it's so good. Oh my gosh, it tastes like pizza. I put a lot of cheese in it. That's probably why. But it really does taste like pizza. And because there's no crust, it doesn't have like that quiche kind of taste to it. So I like it even better. Don't get me wrong. Would I love to eat a jar of Nutella or a pint of Ben & Jerry's? Yeah, of course. But again, been there, done that. And I think that, the road to healthy life has steps in it, just like, the road to destruction. Like when you think of the 12 steps, I often think of what's the opposite of that? Because if you know the 12 steps to recovery, the inverse of that is also true. What are the 12 steps of creating addiction or creating unhealthy patterns? And think about it, break it down, see what makes sense to you. I had a client one time, and he was so funny. He reminded me of Yosemite Sam. And he was so cool and just so grumpy, and he hated everybody and he hated everything. And I loved it. I loved him. I thought he was just such a treasure. And if you see my shirt, you'll see that it says, I like coffee and maybe 3 people. Is that entirely true? No, but can I use hyperbole to express, speech? Of course. It's more probably close to 5 people. I'm kidding. But he was an atheist, and he came to the center that I was working in, and he said, I have this guy who's explaining the 12 steps to me, and I just can't connect with it. And he was so mad. And I said to him one time, I said, he's talking about God and the Holy Spirit, and this guy was just, the relationship was just not working. And so I said to him, imagine that you have yourself, right? Like pretend this is you, and then you have your addiction or whatever your magnet is, and it's got you. You're stuck. It's got a hold on you. You know that song, You Really Got a Hold on Me, Smokey Robinson? And you can't seem to get out, no matter what you do. Okay, so how do you release that? How do you, what's the first step? It's humility when you break it down. I can't do this by myself. And guess what? Just admitting that I'm powerless over something. I can't do it all by myself. It's too difficult. This really has a hold on me. And look, I'm stuck. And sometimes in life we get stuck and we need additional help. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Whether you want to call it God or the tree or, your mother or a therapist or, whatever it is that's going to say, hey, I can't. Alone, I cannot. But with somebody's help, you know what? Just admitting it, that I need help, loosens its grip. So now I can try to wiggle out a little bit, right? And the more you think about it like that, the more you ask for help, the more you seek help, the more you realize you're not on an island all by yourself and you're not alone. That's when these things start to get a little bit more distant from you, right? And the guy, Yosemite Sam, we'll call him, was like, well, what the hell? How come nobody ever explained it to me like that before? And I said, I don't know. Whatever vocabulary you want to use it. Whatever makes sense in your brain that's going to free you, use it. You're not impressing me. What am I gaining from this? Nothing. I had I told you I used to be a weight loss counselor, and food is such a vital part of our lives, right? Because what we feed ourselves in our bellies, in our minds, in our mouths, and the things that come out of it too, are what and who we are, right? It's how we feel, right? So the company that I had worked for, they were so stringent on selling their product. And I mean, most of my clients were single moms or moms with families and multiple children who were struggling to make ends meet. And the company was after their own interests, right? They're self-serving and with the guise of, but we're here to help you. Were they, or were they here for their bottom line and their quota, right? Everybody listens to that same radio station, WIIFM. You know what that stands for? What's in it for me? Everybody listens to that. And so because my whole purpose and intention for being at this particular facility was different, right? I mean, sure, I needed money to survive, but my goal, my focus, my intention was to help people. And it always is. That's always my goal. That's always my intention. And when you do it like that, the money just comes. Like, you're not looking for it. You're not working for it. It just kind of happens. So I'm not going to try to sell you this, cat food for $50 from me when I know for sure that the store across the street has the same thing for 50 cents. Because I'm going to make, what, $3 from this? And then the company makes, 40? And what does my client get? Now they have to struggle to make ends meet. Is that right? Is that fair? No, that's the love of money. And I hate that so much. I hate the love of money. I don't love money. I love, God, I even hate to say it. I love people. Do you see my face right now? I do. I love helping people. I don't love what people do. I don't love all the things that, people can do to other people because it's cruel. But I love to help people grow and be better and be healed. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. That's so that you can flourish, right? What am I going to get from this? 50 cents? Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's wonderful. My riches, that happens here, right? That's what's most important to me. That's what's most valuable to me. Not all this external crap. That means nothing. It's an optical illusion. We've talked about this before. I'm more interested in your heart. Your limbic system, whatever vocabulary you'd like to use, your mind, your soul, your person, your personality. That is invaluable. There's nothing like that in life, right? And I believe that we're here to help one another, not hurt one another, because there's so many people that contribute to hurting other people. And that sort of thing's not my bag, baby. I want you to feel good about yourself. I don't want you to be popping pills, right? Whether it's vitamins or prescription medication, when God put everything here for us to use, readily available, right? There's apples, there's lemons, there's spinach, there's eggs. What we feed ourselves is truly everything. So if you every day decide, hey, you know what? I'm going to have vegetables instead of that ice cream. Does it taste the same? No. But food goes from here to here. And after that, it becomes crap. So if you can get past this, you've already won. And from here to here is up here. We got to start by making better decisions. And is it easy? No. I'm not going to lie to you. It's difficult to make different decisions because we're so ingrained on our habits, right? We're creatures of habit. I wake up in the morning, I'm going to go to the bathroom, I'm going to get a cup of coffee, I'm going to feed the pets, I'm going to, that's my routine, right? That's your routine too, I'm sure. And to break out of that, to do little things differently, requires only a decision. That's it. I started brushing my teeth with my non-dominant hand. I'm left-handed, so I started brushing my teeth with my right hand. And in the beginning, it was really weird and awkward. But by doing that, we actually change the neural pathways in our brains. So we're literally changing how we think in our brains. Every single thing that we do starts in our brain, right? We're literally just brains walking around with a body. Everything that's in our brain is proven by our lives. That's the bottom line, right? So if we think properly, we're going to do things differently. If we think in unhealthy ways and unhealthy patterns, we're going to start to see evidence of that in other areas of our lives. So in any case, in order to make different choices, just takes that one. Start using your non-dominant hand to do different things, right? Last week when I had hurt my fingers, I couldn't write. So it was really difficult to write with my left hand. I had to use my right hand, and even that hurt. So I had to practice. And at first it's messy. At first it's weird. It feels awkward. But then I noticed the benefits of it. I wasn't as rigid as I usually am, right? I started to think about things in a different way. And I thought, oh, wow, maybe there's some truth to that. I know the research, I've read it, but did I ever try these things? Did I ever try them for 21 days? Did I ever try them for 66 days to become an actual habit? We are what we repeatedly do. So if you're constantly running on the same hamster wheel every single day, and you're like, man, I'm not getting anywhere. Nothing's happening. Get off the wheel. Go the opposite direction. Change the way you think. Change the way you eat. Change what we feed ourselves. And you're going to notice a change in how you feel. It's just the way that it is. I'm not giving you anything that's brand new information. This stuff has been around for years, right? It's just the way that we process it and what we do with the information. I don't want to be a person who is out there telling you one thing and I'm sitting on camera and I'm eating my spinach, and then as soon as the camera ends, I'm going to go grab a chocolate bar. I'm not going to do that. That's not going to sit well with me because that's not my character. I remember when I was working at the weight loss center, truly one of my favorite jobs ever. I came home and I was on a soapbox, because I was making people feel good about themselves and I was helping people lose weight and feel good about their lives. And we had we had family over, and they had, pizza and pastries and just all the wonderful things that I lust over that don't care about me at all and that, make me swell up. And my aunt said, oh, well, you can have some. Nobody will know. And I thought, yeah, nobody will know, but I'll know. Hell no. You see the face I'm making right now? I don't want to make that face. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. Because that's not who I am. That's not my true character. And again, we are what we repeatedly do. So the second I say, speaking of no one's looking, it makes it so much easier to say that again. And to do that again. And to get away with it and get away with it and get away with it. Until the next time you look at yourself, you're like, oh, wow. I've turned into the person that I don't want to be. And that's a horrible feeling. And how do I know? Because I've done it. Not, with food or anything, but with other behaviors, of course. Be kind to yourself. Know who you are. Search for your identity. Not from AI, not from a book. Notice your patterns. Notice your behaviors. Notice the things that you allow yourself to get away with and the things that you don't. Healing from narcissistic abuse, healing from unhealthy and toxic relationships that have manipulated you, and then learning how to trust yourself again, it's work. It's a lot of work. But it's worth it to become the person that you were meant to become. To fight for yourself the way that you never have before. And then to win the love of yourself inside of yourself. Dude, that's huge. To feel worthy. And you are. I can tell you all day long, but if you don't believe it, it's not true. Anyway, I'm going to eat my spinach. I'm going to take the dog for a walk. And then I'm going to clean. And I'll probably think of you. Our next show is going to drop soon. I have to finish my other training, which I'll tell you about when I see you again. But more good things are coming. I'm proud of you, Bella. Keep it up.